Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the third session based on the chapter Typical Configuration of Computer System. And today's our topic is components of motherboard. If you take the motherboard, there are different types of components are available that we are going to discuss in this session. So let us move to the session now. In the last session, we mainly discussed about the general structure of the motherboard. If you take the motherboard contains the general structure that mainly contains north bridge and also with the south bridge. So we discussed about the north bridge and also with the south bridge in case of last session. If you take the north bridge, that will deals with the high speed devices, or we can say high speed components in case of north bridge. Then if you take the south bridge will deals with the low speed components compared to the north bridge. That is a north bridge and south bridge. Mainly CPU is connected to north bridge and primary memory also connected to north bridge. If you take this secondary memory or hard disk, that is mainly connected to the south bridge. So there is mainly two types of chipset used in the motherboard. That is general structure. After that, we started with the components of motherboard. If we take the components, we discussed about the processors. Already we discussed about the processors and also BIOS, basic input output system. We also discussed about the basic input output system or BIOS. Then we started with the CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. We also finished with complementary metal oxide semiconductor and also different types of slot. Which are all different types of slot we use, that also we discussed. And also we finished with the disk controllers. We finished with the disk controllers. These are the different topics or different components of motherboard what we discussed in the previous session. So let us move to the video, or let us move to the today's session. So one more type of device or component of the motherboard, that is I/O ports and interfaces. I/O ports and interfaces. I/O means it is a input output. I/O means it is a input and output. Input output ports and the interfaces. So what is a port? First we are discussing what is a port. A port is a socket on the computer used to connect external device to the computer. If you want to connect the external device to the computer, then we are making use of the port. A port is a socket on the computer used to connect external device to the computer. If you want to connect any external device to your computer, then mainly we are making use of port. See, remember, slot and port both also different. Slot means that is a place where we can insert the printed circuit boards. Slot is a place where we can insert a printed circuit board, that is known as slot. The next one is a port. Port is a socket. It is a socket that we can connect any external device. It's possible to connect any external device, that is actually known as port. It is used to connect external device like printer, keyboard or scanner. If you want to connect keyboard, or if you want to connect the scanner or mouse, any devices, any external devices possible to connect through the I/O port. The different types of I/O ports are serial port, parallel port, USB port and the VGA port. So mainly four types of ports are available. One is serial port, second one is parallel port, USB means universal serial bus port, your USB port. Then VGA, visual graphics adapter, VGA port. These are the mainly four types of ports are available. So next, first we'll move to the serial port. The serial port is also known as communication port. It is also known as communication port, or RS232 port. It is also known as RS232C ports. It is used to connect in the communication device like mouse and modem. So mainly it is serial port, is also known as communication port, mainly used to connect the communication devices like mouse and modem. Modem and mouse is possible to connect using the serial port. They are used for connecting communication devices like mouse and modem. This port transfer the data serially one bit at a time. Remember, serial port is transferring data only one bit at a time. Only one data line transfer will be there. So whenever if you're going to transfer the data, only one bit is going to transfer at a time, or we can say data is transferred bit by bit. The next one is One main advantage is that data is sent and received over only two lines. Mainly here using only two lines. One is for sending, one more is for receiving. Mainly we can say data can be sent in one line and also data can be received in using only one line. So data here transferring one after another. One after another means bit by bit. 8-bit data will be transferred. First one bit will be transferred. After that second bit, next third bit, fourth bit, like that. Data will be transferred bit by bit in case of serial port. Next one will be the parallel port. Parallel port are used to connect external input and output devices like printer or scanner. Mainly if you want to connect printer or scanner, then we are making use of parallel port. Parallel port is mainly used to connect the output devices, mainly printer. Printer is mainly connected using the parallel port. Also known as printer port. This port is also known as printer port. They can carry 8 bit at a time. Here, if you use a parallel port, 8 lines are available. Normally, we can say 16 lines to transfer the data, 16 lines, or we can say 8 lines are available. 8-bit data can be transferred at a time. 8-bit of data can be transferred, means 1 byte data can be transferred at a time in case of parallel port. In case of serial port, only 1 bit is transferred at a time. Parallel port 8 bit, in case of serial port only 1 bit is transferred at a time. That is the main difference between the serial port and also with the parallel port. Next one type of port is that is a USB port. Next type of port that is known as USB port. USB means universal serial bus. Universal serial bus port or is used to connect a variety of newer peripheral like printer, scanners, digital cameras, web cameras, speakers, etc. to a computer. It is a new type of port. Or you can say the standard port is a standard port for computer system. That port is known as USB. USB means is a universal serial bus and is mainly connect the different type. Is also possible to connect printers is also possible, and also scanners or mouse, keyboard, any type of devices can be connected using the USB port. USB port gives a single standardized easy to use way to connect a variety of newer peripheral to a computer. If you want to connect the newer devices, modern devices, all the modern devices have the same connection type. All the modern devices will having the same connection type, that is USB or standard connection type. That standard connection type is known as USB. And remember, it is a single standard connector, that is a USB, that is mainly used to connect the external devices or newer external devices. New external devices means modern external devices are available based on the USB that can be connected using the USB. The next one is USB is a plug and play interface. Remember, USB is a plug and play. Directly we can plug the USB device and we can remove that one. Easily you can remove and easily you can connect. It is a plug and play interface between computer and add-on devices. So for example, if you are connecting any external device, directly we can plug in and directly we can take out. There is no external port is required or external connectors are required, not required in case of USB. And is also possible such as audio players, modem, scanner, all the devices can be connected using the USB port. With USB, a new device can be added to your computer without adding an adapter card. Remember, even turning off the computer. Remember, without switch off the computer, we can connect an external device. When system is running, at that time also we can connect the new device, and also any adapter is not required. Adapters are not required in case of USB. USB adapters are not required. That is USB port. USB supports data speed of 12 megabits per second. USB supports a data speed of 12 megabits per second. 12 megabits per second can be data transferred. And USB supporting up to 127 devices. USB supporting up to 127 devices can be connected. 127 devices can be connected to a system. That is in case of USB port. Next one is PS2. PS2 means it is a personal system. So not remember, it's not a PlayStation. PlayStation is a game, but here PS2 means that is personal system 2. 2 is a version. Personal system 2 port. Personal system port. PS2 port was developed by IBM. Mainly, it is developed by the IBM to interface keyboard and pointing devices like mouse, trackball, and touchpads. Older days, not now. Older days, before inventing the USB, they were using the 5-pin connector. They are mainly using the 5-pin connectors that is developed by the IBM. So that is mainly known as PS2 connector or PS2 port, and that is mainly used to connect the mouse. Mouse is possible to connect, and also is possible to connect the keyboards. Keyboards can be connected, and also mouse can be connected. Trackball is one more input device that also possible to connect, and also touchpad is one more type of device that also can be connected in case of PS2 connector. Next one is IDE, Integrated Digital Electronics. IDE, Integrated Digital Electronics Port. It connects the IDE devices like CD-ROM device or CD-ROM drive, CD drives, normally you can say CD drives, or hard disk drive. If you want to connect like that type of devices, IDE, Integrated Digital Electronics, or integrated devices like CD drive, hard disk drive, floppy drive, or DVD drive, if you use any drives, that can be connected using the IDE or IDE port. IDE port support for connecting all these type of devices. The next one is AGP. AGP means accelerated graphics port. AGP means it is accelerated graphics port. It is used to connect the graphics card, provides the high speed video performance, typically requires in gaming and multimedia applications. Normally in case of multimedia applications or gaming, we require high performance or high quality of video. High quality of video is required in case of gaming or multimedia applications. So that type of devices can be connected using the AGP or accelerated graphics port. It provides high speed. Mainly it provides the high speed video performance compared to any other connectors, that is accelerated graphics port. Next one is VGA, visual graphics adapter. Visual graphics adapter, it connect monitor, computer, video card. Mainly it is monitor and computer's video card is connected using the VGA. Mainly it connect your computer to monitors, means motherboard is connected to monitors, a separate type of pins are used. That is actually known as visual graphics adapter or VGA adapter, or VGA port is required. VGA port, by using that one we can connect the monitor or sometimes projectors or any external display devices can be connected using the VGA. Next one is device modem. Modem means it's a modulator and demodulator. MOD from the modulator, DEM from the demodulator. So that is modem. Modem means modulator and demodulator. It connects PC to a telephone network. If you want to connect your system to a telephone network, then mainly we are making use of modem. Next one is Ethernet port. Ethernet port is connect to a network for high speed internet. Ethernet port, that is mainly connect your system to a network, an external network or local network also is connected using the one separate port, that is Ethernet port. That port is known as Ethernet port. It can connect network cable to a computer, mainly connecting a network cable. Network cable is connected to your system using the Ethernet port. So mainly it is used to connect the internet, or mainly you can say it is used to connect the internet, or we can say that is mainly used to connect the network. If you want to connect your system to network, you are making use of Ethernet port. If you purchase nowadays, if you purchase any laptop, in that Ethernet port will not be available. You know, in case of only system, Ethernet port will be available, and older systems or older laptop can have the Ethernet port. Or if you want, you can add the external modem or internal modem can be adapted to your system. That is also possible. Next one is MIDI. MIDI, that means musical instrument digital interface. Musical instrument digital interface port. This is a system designed transmit information between the electronic musical instruments. So for example, if you are a musician and if you want to connect one music or one music instrument to your computer, if you want to connect one music instrument to your computer, then we are making use of MIDI port. You can connect keyboards as possible, or rhythm pad also we can connect, or any electronic music instruments. Any electronic music instruments can be connected to your system. Any electronic musical instruments can be connected to a computer using the MIDI port, or it is known as musical instrument digital interface port. By using this one, it is possible to connect. Here you can see the different figures of different types of port. First one is a serial port. So that is actually VGA is given in that. That is the first one, serial. That is a VGA port. The next one you can see the USB port. If you search any system, you can get the USB port. Next one is a parallel port. Parallel port is not available in our system nowadays, because that is everything, serial port and parallel port, everything is changed into USB now. So parallel port, you can see 8 lines are there. Next here, RJ11 and RJ45 LAN cable. The two different connectors. RJ11 means only four cables can be connected. If you use the RJ45, 8 wires can be connected. That is the difference between the RJ45 and RJ11. So that is mainly Ethernet. First one is phone. Phone is first part, RJ11. That is mainly used for modem. And next RJ45 LAN cable, that is mainly used, that is known as Ethernet port. The next main topic here is bus. A bus is a collection of parallel wires. What is a bus means? That is a collection of parallel wires that form a pathway to carry address, data and also control signals. That is actually known as bus. Bus is a collection of wires. Bus is a collection of wires that form a pathway. They mainly form a pathway between two systems or two devices in a system to carry the address, data and also the control signal. Mainly three work is there. If you take the bus, or bus means a parallel wires, group of wires, that is mainly carrying the address, data and also the control signal. Address signal, data signal and also control signals is carried out through the bus. The functional features of bus are mainly, first one is a bus is a set of wire. Each wire carry one bit of data. See, remember, bus is a set of wires or group of wires. Bus is a set of wire or group of wire, and remember, in that each wire can carry one bit of data. The next one is a bus width is defined by the number of wires in a bus. If you take the bus means a group of wires, sometimes 8 wires will be there, sometimes 16 wires will be there. So it's a group of wires. A bus is a width defined by width of the bus we can define based on the number of wires used in a bus. A computer bus can be divided into two types. If you take the computer bus, that mainly can be divided into two types. One is internal bus and one more is external bus. Computer bus mainly divided into two types. One is internal and also one more is known as external bus. Internal bus is also known as system bus. Internal bus is also known as system bus. And remember, it connects the major computer components like processor, CPU, processor or CPU, then memory and IO devices. Mainly if you take the internal bus mainly connect this processor, memory and also with the IO device. IO device means input output devices, mainly internally connected. So it is also known as system bus. The next one is external bus. It connects the different external devices. It connects different external devices, peripheral, expansion slots, IO ports or the rest of the computer. So remember, it is also known as expansion bus. It is also known as expansion bus and it is slower than the system bus. Remember, mainly two types of bus are available. One is internal bus and one more is external bus. Internal bus is mainly connecting the processor, memory and IO devices. Processor, memory and IO devices can be connected using the internal bus. Next one is external bus. External bus is mainly using to connect the peripheral devices. Peripheral devices can be connected using the external bus. External bus is also known as expansion bus Internal bus is also known as system bus. Remember, system bus and also expansion bus. Here you can see the figure of bus, a system bus, and mainly you can see here the system bus figure. So if you take the system bus mainly connect the CPU, memory and also input and output devices. CPU, memory and input and output devices. If you take here, mainly three types of buses are available. One is control bus, address bus and data bus. If you take the system bus is mainly divided into three types. System bus is mainly divided into three types. One is control bus, second one is address bus and last one is a data bus. Control bus, address bus and also with the data bus. We'll see one by one. That means these are the mainly three types of system bus. One is control bus, address bus and also with the data bus. The first one here is data bus. It provides the path to transfer the data between CPU and memory. Mainly data bus is used to transfer the data signals. Data bus mainly used to transfer the data signals between CPU and memory. The data bus may consist of 32, 64 or 128 lines. If you take the data bus consists of 32 lines or 64 lines or 128 lines of the wire, or 128 wires will be there or in a single bus, or 64 wires will be there in a single bus, or 32 wires will be there in a single bus. That will say the width of the bus. So mainly that is data bus is used to transfer the data signals. The next one is address bus. Address bus mainly connect the CPU RAM. Address bus is mainly connect the CPU RAM with the set of similar lines of similar to the data bus. Remember, if the data bus is 32-bit, address bus also 32-bit will be there. If data bus is 64-bit or 64 wires, then address bus also will have 64 wires. If the data bus have 128 wires, then address bus also having the 128 wires. The address bus width determines the maximum number of memory locations that computer can address. Means it mainly determines the maximum number of memory locations. For example, if the memory location is 8-bit, if system is 8-bit means the bus contains 8-bit, 8 lines or 8 wires. If your system is 32-bit computer means then it contains a 32 group of wires or 32 set of wires. Then if your computer is 128-bit, if your computer is 128-bit means 128-bit memory will be there. So the computer or bus will have the 128 lines of data or wires. So next one is address control bus. Last one, control bus. It is used to control the access to the data and the address lines. Mainly control it carries the control signals to control the data and address lines. Remember, mainly address bus, data bus and control bus. Data bus is used to transfer the data signals. Address bus is used to transfer the address signals. Control bus is used to control the mainly transferring the control signals, and that control the address and the data bus. Address and data bus is controlled using the control bus. These are the mainly three types of system bus. So by here we reach the end of this session today. In this session we mainly discussed about the different components of motherboard. So we already discussed some different components. One BIOS we finished, CMOS and also disk controllers. All these devices we discussed in the previous session, and in this session mainly we discussed with the slot, or mainly we can see the ports, IO ports and also with the interfaces, IO ports and also with the interfaces. Then we started with the different types of bus. Bus is the group of wires to carry the different kind of signals, address, data and control signals. Then if you take the bus, mainly two types is there, internal and external. And system bus, again three types are there, data bus, control bus and also with the address bus. So these are the topics what we discussed in this session. So by here I'll wind up my today's session. Based on this one I'll give the worksheet. Until then we'll meet you in next section. Thank you.